What's going on, Pre-PT Nation? We have another great tip request question today from an applicant asking, after I've submitted my application to PTCAS, how do I know that I've done everything correctly and that it's been received? So I'm going to talk through a few different things in regards to this question. First and foremost, this is my PTCAS dummy account. It doesn't have a ton filled out, but I'm going to use this as an example to show you. Once you've started filling out your application and you're wondering if different materials have been received or if your application, what status your application is in, you're going to go to this tab right here, check status. Okay. So again, I don't have a ton of stuff filled out in this, but this area, once you've entered your observation hours, verification request forms, your transcript or a reference request, you sent your transcripts, all of those different things are going to be in this area, as well as the programs that you have in your queue that you're planning on submitting to. So you're going to be able to go and look and see a snapshot of where everything is at a given point in time. So check status section of your application is going to be your best friend in regards to this question. Now, this is the PTCAS Help Center right here. This is talking about application statuses. All right, and this disclaimer at the top is very important. Applicants are responsible for monitoring the status of their application. Notifications are not sent for any missing items. To help you keep track of your applications and all materials, click the Check Status at the top of the application dashboard. Keep in mind that it takes 5 business days from the receipt to post transcripts and official test scores to your application. References are immediately updated once received from your reference. And then these are the different statuses of your application. In progress, your application has not yet been submitted or you haven't paid the application fee. Received, your application has been submitted but you are missing required documents. This also applies if you've used the professional transcript entry service. That can take up to 10 days to be completed. And then once it's completed, you're going to review it and approve the coursework that has been entered using the PTE. Complete. All required materials were received and your application is in line for verification and is considered complete. Okay. Note that programs may require additional materials for your application to be considered complete. Check with each program for more details. Then you have undelivered. The status indicates if there was an error that was found with your application was returned to you for corrections. See correcting an undelivered application. If you fall under that category, please look under that area of the PTCAS Help Center. Verified. Your application was processed and if applicable, your GPA was calculated and made available to your programs. You'll receive a confirmation notification that your application was verified. Once your application is verified, you should direct any questions about its status to the programs that you applied to. Now, another question that we commonly get from applicants, in addition to this, is after I've submitted my application, is it a done deal, right? So let me preface this by saying, when you are submitting your PTCAS application, you want to measure twice, cut once, okay? So you should go through each window and review it before you submit your application and make sure that you've completed every area of the application. It's easy to do this on the check status section. You can go back to the dashboard right here and look and see how many sections are completed. If you have anything that's not complete, you are not going to be able to complete your application unless you've filled out the entire thing. However, with that being said, if you are going to submit your application, you should always look through each of the areas that you've entered and make sure things were saved correctly, entered correctly, that there wasn't anything that you forgot before you submit. This doesn't need to be a terrifying or anxiety-ridden process, but just go through and make sure, yeah, everything I wanted to put in here is in here now. Okay. In addition to that, if after you submit your application, you can go back and change some things. But as it says here, once you submit your application, most sections are locked to prevent edits. The updates that you can make include updating contact info, your profile information, adding programs with deadlines that have not yet passed, adding new references, editing or deleting references that remain incomplete, adding new entries to certain areas of academic history, supporting information, and program materials. So examples include test scores, optional documents, and where applicable, where applicable, and you are unable to edit or delete existing entries. Editing program materials for programs you have not yet submitted to, adding additional documents to programs that you've already submitted to. Okay, so there are areas that you can go back and update or add new entries, but even after you add those, it's a good idea to follow up with programs to make sure that those new materials have been received once they've been added to your application. Okay, so I know this was a longer video. It had some more nuance to the answer. Hopefully it gives you at least some areas you can go to get your own information that's specific to your particular situation, and some easy ways that you can check using the check status section of the application. Thank you for this question. If you have additional tip request questions, don't forget to submit them to us via our story on Tip Request Tuesday. Take care and have a great rest of your day.